Alright, ML told me not to record, so I'm going to record here. We've had pretty poor luck with getting decent recording material in the last two series we played in, one being a vintage series where I had 7 drops total. Luckily, the deck was pretty simple to play. It was just Mentor. The other drops were when I was on Azorious Control in Hunter Singleton with 3 creature cards in the deck, so that was not good. I only had 1 drop during that. But we had to kill the recordings for that one because just due to time. Like if I dropped again, like in that same game, I mean I lost that match regardless, and some of it was due to time loss. All right, well, what do we got here? Nothing. I don't want more lands in this hand. Well, he's on a Bant deck. It appears. Well, no turn 1 threat. F6 value. I know it's not the best play. The best play, take 2? No, okay. 4-color deck? Well, that looks good to me. This thing's a lightning rod. I force him to deal with it, or answer it, or put a blocker in play. But if he puts a blocker, I can just like deck and stone it, and then he's kind of stuck. Dust Bowl is going to be phenomenal in this matchup, I think. Yeah, he's all of the colors then. All of the colors. This is white, right? Well, yeah, it's Bant colors. All right, Mardu. All right, Radiant Flames. Yeah, lightning rod, right? Cool. Well, I want to hide the Dust Bowl because I don't want him, if he fetches this next turn, I don't want him to fetch for a basic. But we'll play this out, and we will play this guy out to protect it. Now the hope is he just doesn't play a huge creature. If he plays a Planeswalker threat that makes creatures, that's going to be bad too. Could lose to that, although Declaration Stone is good at getting rid of tokens. We're hoping that he just blanks or tries to wipe the board this turn. If he wipes the board, then I'm just going to go straight into Dust Bowl mode. Nothing? Okay. Well, that's not good for him. Land? Sweet. You're losing this one first. Start getting Dust Bowled into oblivion. This is the problem with these sort of decks. Because Dust Bowl can just beat them. And he'd probably be upset if he knew I was recording right now. But I'm trying to get a couple games in that I can actually put up for some entertainment because I didn't capture this last Saturday's event. Kind of a heartbreaker, too, because of the discon that almost lasted 10 minutes. All right, what do we have here? Nothing. Well, if we're going to sit and look at each other, then I'm cool with that. I'll take that one out. I'll just keep on beating the life out of you. Now every land I draw. That's why I run 36 in this deck, because this deck is a denial. A mana denial engine. It beats other players through mana denial. What's the next one I get? Well, he has Wrath mana. I'll put this thing down, force him to counter because I don't want him to factor fiction end step. Also leave up Path to Exile because I may actually exile one of my cards. I don't know. Just to keep on Dust Bowling. Like he could Wrath us here. When do you have a Wrath? Creatures are not going to cut it from this point. I have a lot of answers to those. Okay, well, more land. Do you have a Planeswalker? Well, it feels like he kind of does. Or a sweeper. Could have a sweeper. If he sweeps, do I path my own creature? I feel like I probably do. And excuse me for drinking, guys. All right, Nisa, a Vital Force. Okay. Exile target creature. Yeah, okay. Or we could just put it in prison. Yeah. Okay. If I just draw a land here, don't I just Dust Bowl his land that's blocking for him? Yeah, I do. Well, I do not draw the land, so that would have... I mean, if knowing the Psychic play would have been to path to exile this thing and just win this turn. Obviously, that is beyond us now. So, what we're going to do is this. We're just going to Journey to Nowhere, this land card. This land now creature card, if Modo doesn't freeze. Yep, bye-bye. And I'm just going to beat the living crap out of ML. So his plan is to block this next turn. I just don't think it can be. Maybe I should have killed the Nissa. It'll really depend on what he does here. If he like board wipes, then I'm in trouble. Because the Nissa, in and of herself, I don't have a threat to present. Alright, well at least that comes into play tapped. He can untap it, obviously, with the Nissa to get back up to 5 mana. Yeah. But if he just intends on leaving it as a blocker, I'll path to exile it. Then I have the Silverblade Paladin, which makes 2 of my 3 threats lethal, because I'll pair it with the... What is this thing called? The Imposing Sovereign. Creature type, only human. Love that card. Card cracks me up, too. Only creature type's human. Doesn't even have a job. A dirty aristocrat. Speaking of aristocrats, it was funny. ML and I were having an interesting debate about the card Grafdigger's Cage, which is... A Graf itself is a word in German. I believe it means duke or duchess or something like that, or like I forget what the feminine version of it is. But essentially it means aristocrat, is at least the interpretation that I have of it. Okay. And it cracked me up because, you know, he didn't understand what the rationale was behind the name. And the name itself, actually, I think is quite a decent pun because I think what it's referring to is Aristocrat's Cage, which Aristocrats, if you're familiar with the deck, is a graveyard-based synergy that uses small creatures that generally have synergistic effects to kill opponents. And calling it an Aristocrat's Cage means it's beating that deck, which it does in function as well, or in form. All right, what do we think here? I don't even know. Probably this thing. Over... This thing? Yeah, I think so. Because I think he's going to have Wraths. I like Palace Jailer too. He's not pressuring us. I think this thing is probably less good because he's going to be like wrathing our board. I mean, it is a stellar 4, but I kind of want to try this thing out too. The Palace Jailer may just be right main. 4 is just a lot of mana in this deck. Well, we saw at least one red-based sweeper. This guy is close to the chopping block in this deck. I always cut this guy for other stuff. It's like such a great white weenie card. I just don't care for it as much in this deck. All right, we're going to cut this guy too. I don't think... First Strike is a great ability, but I don't think it's going to be relevant in this matchup. Do you want Disenchant for like his Miser, like Disfigure that he maybe has? I don't know about that. Seems kind of loose. Mark of Asylum seems kind of loose too. I mean, we did see the red removal, but I don't know. Samurai the Pale Curtain, like, stops Nissa and Eternal Witness. No, it seems loose. Alright, we're just going to jam it. We're going to jam it like this. Sword of Feast and Famine could be wrong to cut. I mean, I guess he could have black removal. We'll see more of his deck. If he's, like, very reliant on red mana for sweeping, maybe we want the non-red sweepers. Alright, well, we're going to keep this. Dubious, though. We do want one more planes. A lot of colorless mana, but I think the LD and the... Yeah, it's just good disruption. Well, none there. And I think in this matchup, I think it's about beating face as fast as possible. We do hope to hit another planes, though, so we can go into our Knight of the White Orchid and just kind of ramp a little bit. Well, do you have an answer to this? No. Okay. Well, there we go. But for this turn, I'm going to play this out. I want to start disrupting his mana. Could, of note, also play out the Priest and Captain. I think that's the obvious play. I think the less obvious play is that he is going to be far more reliant on his mana than we are on ours. And what I'm kind of doing here, I'm going to tap this one. I kind of want to get an idea of what he has available to him as far as mana goes, so I can figure out how to disrupt. Plus, I want to force him to continue to expand his mana base with relevant lands, so that I can use a Tech Edge, gain value of Tech Edge later on down the road. So I think this is probably the more correct play. Play this out. If you have a counter spell, you got it. It's a 1-drop. Don't care. And that is kind of like where I make the dividing line. This is an aggro control deck. Should I tap here? What's more relevant? The white, probably. For Wrath of God? Yeah. Probably still go with this. He can have all the black mana and, he can have all the black mana he wants. If he goes, like, I don't even know what he could do on double black that I fear. I guess he could have, like, Hymn to Turek. That's rough. Okay, well, he has 2 white again. Okie doke. So this next turn, I think what we do... I don't think we actually expand our mana base this next turn. I think what we do is this. I think we look to take him off green mana. Because I think green generally tends to fix. It allows things like crop rotation, cultivate, 3 visits, all that junk to get cast. And we just bang in there for 4. And it would still be nice to draw another land. If we do not, we'll likely... It's tough. Like, it's either Thalia or Knight of the White Orchid, and I'm not quite sure which. Because I want to leave up the... Again, we'll tap his white mana out, and F6. It's kind of tough here because... Okay, red mana. Could just take the 2. He does not. Well... Okay, well this makes our decision a lot easier. Counter Magic here is kind of a beating. But he has to respect the fact that we could have just drawn land. Yep. He doesn't have Counterspell, evidently. Yep. Well, this next turn, I think we tap his red down. I mean, we know he at least has 1 red sweeper. I don't think we play Thalia out here. I think that just runs into a possible Wrath of God effect. So here's the thing. Here's the rub. Like, his red removal is going to be cheaper than his white removal, but if we run the Thalia out, then his red removal is still, his mass removal is still castable, because he'll be on 4 mana because we've tapped down a Rishadan Port. But his Wrath of God effect, if he has that, will not be castable. Yeah, we definitely wanted to land there. Well, I guess it was impossible because, like, we needed 2 lands, like the Rishadan Port plus another to tap it down. Next turn, Thalia is the play, though. So if we have a Wrath of God effect, well, he gets us. Do we have it? And if he does, yuck. Okay, Languish. Well, that wasn't one we could have gotten anyways. So we lose all our junk. We lose all our little crappers. Well, Thalia. And tap your land. And tap the red one. And F6. This makes Planeswalkers much more difficult to cast, as well as Wrath effects. If he has point removal, he's likely to use it on her. She's a lightning rod, essentially. Alright, well, there's more red mana, so he's got his mana. Next turn, hopefully we get a land again, because I would like to leave up the... Stonecloaker, if she lives. I think the chances of her living are pretty low. This is a walker. Yeah, it's a walker. It's going to blow her up. Well, that stinks. But, cool. Well, there she is. Deal with her. And I'm actually not going to tap down his land because I would like to Stonecloaker. If he has, like, point removal for the... Sira Avenger, which he could. Just keep a land tapped. Okay, this permanent doesn't tap regardless. It has Vigilance, unless you have, like, Fire Ice. Which, if you do, frankly, I'll just bounce it back to hand. Do you have Ice? Could be, like, a Frost Titan. That'd be interesting. This is, like, Dark Jeskai. It's kind of cool. Well, alright, Ab Nixilis. Well, does Ob Nixilis decide to destroy my Sira Avenger? Yes, he does. And here comes Stonecloaker to save the day, hopefully. We'll flip the Sira Avenger back to hand. And we'll exile this thing. Okay. And she'll go back to hand. Did I overtap? I guess I did. Probably took one more. I didn't overtap. Alright, cool. Oh, he overtapped. He has one more white mana. Does he have a path to exile or something? That'd be rough. Although if you had it, I think you path... No, he just didn't have anything at all. What's a good one? So, it's going to be mass removal or bust here. We definitely kill the Ajani. Or do we? Or do we? So, 3... Huh. Guys, this is hard. Alright, so Ajani's going to die here. If he has mass removal, like, that's just such a beating. And I think here we just tap. His red mana. Can't stop him on white. Can't stop him on black. Can keep him off, like, Anger of the Gods. But even then, if he has Anger, like, I tend to be okay with that because Brave the Elements is going to protect my junk. My little... Actually, these cards are not bad. They're very efficient threats. And I tend to like Stonecloaker, actually. I think the card's fine. It has a good effect for, like, you know, randomly against Reanimator, which has not been a common thing. Plus it's a flash critter, and it can save things. I mean, essentially we time walked him with that. Now he's got to take a damage, so he draws a card, loses a life. Just not bad. And if he has point removal for either of my two idiots, or it's red-based, let's turn off the auto yields just in case. If it's a Wrath of God, well, then we just got had. That would stink. Could be like a Tameo. Hallowed Burial. Well, that sucks. He got us. How many do you have, good sir? Still tap down the red. Precludes the most things being cast. Does he take the damage off the Ob Nixilis? I don't know. I do not know. What does this guy start with? Starting loyalty is 5. Very high. So I can't kill that thing outright. Maybe it would have made more sense to just cast out the Flicker Wisp as opposed to these two threats. But no, I think the Flicker Wisp can get so many more things. It's on 3, so you could target one of my things. Alright, you lose a life. That's kind of my game here, is I want him to target one of my things and then just blank it. Well, do you have another sweeper? Of note, his deck cannot beat LD. Like, he's all in on the Planeswalkers and Wraths. I think it's cool, but, like, I just think it's fragile to so much. Like, Permission just wrecks this deck. You know? That's the problem. Like, if you're going to play a deck like this, you probably want Critters. Critters and Planeswalkers, kind of like 4C Blood or something like that. Because I think it just has game against a lot more. You know? Alright. Well, next turn, I think we're getting close to a point where we probably want to sack our Horizon Canopy if he's found a Wrath. He's already drawn the card. So, what do you got? Like a Hymn to Turk? Another Sweeper? Oh, Liliana. Okay. Do you force me to discard, or do you kill one of my critters? Interesting. Well, then. What do we discard here? Probably the Wisp. Probably the Wisp. Interesting one to discard. I'm going to attack your face. That's for sure. Okay, it's not a soldier human token, so I'm going to... Well, do I save? I think I save the... No, I have to play the champion out. Because of my game plan, I got to save the champ. Or I can't save the champ because I want to use Brave the Elements here. Because my assumption is he's probably got some sort of removal. You got a counter spell? I'm fine with that. Yeah, that's cool, dude. We shall attack you, good sir. And get another 1/1. And you know what? If he has... I'm going to do this. I'm going to tap this thing down. It is kind of random, but if he has like a double red removal spell, like mass removal spell, I kind of want to get him. Although, am I really getting him? I don't know. Yeah, here we go. You should have Liliana'd me first. I would have cast it out. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes you just have them. Another counter. Okay, well, if you got the other counter, but I think we played that right. I think that was a well played turn on our part. He should have Liliana'd us first. He gets us with the anger of the gods. That's fine. And he can discard with his Liliana if he likes. A Core Haven. That's cool. I will wait and sack the Horizon Canopy upon end step. He's not going to use Liliana, which means his hand is likely gas. And what do we get? A Declaration Stone? Not a strong one here. Well, Smuggler's Copter is actually not a bad one. Yeah, the negate was pretty brutal, but like I said, I think we did play that turn. I think we put him on Anger of Gods. We knew it was probably very highly in his hand, and we wanted him to cast it there to kind of blow him out. Well, to set up the blowout, because like we weren't winning from that position. I think we needed to do that to set up a situation where he makes a mistake. Any creature off the top is fine here. Well, do you have an answer to? Do you have like, I don't know, an Anguished Unmaking? That would be kind of ambitious to cast here. Could just be like a Venser. Okay, Utter End. Okay. Yep, he had an answer to it. That's fine. Well, you can get my Declaration Stone. It's not a good card here. Not a good card at all. I don't know. I think Obnixilus has been kind of underwhelming for me. Like, I haven't been very happy with the card. I've tried it out in Mardu. I don't think it does enough. Okay, Mimic Vat. That's kind of gimmicky. It's a fine card. But, like, what's he going to get out of me? Like, you know, Flicker Wisps, Stone Cloakers that bounce back to his hand. Yeah, I'll discard my Declaration Stone. I don't think it's good in this matchup. And from this position, that's an interesting one to discard. That means he probably has gas in hand. That card just answers everything right there that I'm doing. Well, sometimes you draw them. Beat this one. Although technically, when it dies, okay, will it still die? Yeah, it'll still die, and then Mimic Vat can exile it. Yeah, it still dies. The death trigger still happens. Well, let's tap this one down. If he has another exiling effect, well, so be it. He very well may. Okay, a Mystifying Maze, which he can activate at this point. And you have another exiling effect. If you do, that's pretty rough. Alright, he's got it. He just has the Stone Cold Nuts. And that stinks, but... because we topped pretty well there, too. Well, he's still drawing. Unfortunately, I'm not playing a deck with Lightning Bolts, although I think a deck with Lightning Bolts would beat the living crap out of this deck. I think that's the other problem with this ML is, do you have life gain? Alrighty. We'll tap this one down because if he taps for something silly, we could just mise him with this flash critter. Now, likely he's going to activate his Liliana and then see what we ditch, or just make us ditch our card. Although he could play something before he does it. Nice. Well, that's step one. Step two is he plays some big dumb card and doesn't leave up Mystifying Maze, and then activates his Liliana after having done that, and we cast... Alright, well, here. There's my card. You called it. And he probably has a way to kill this. He has the Mystifying Maze, which actually I can still Rashad... If he has Stone Cold nothing in hand, I can Rashad Port his Mystifying Maze and attack it for lethal. That is very ambitious. I have no doubt that is not going to be what happens here. I think we're just going to have our Aven Mind Sensor die by some silly thing, like an Oblivion Ring or something. Who knows? Like I don't know what he's casting here. Yeah, Wrath of God. He just Wrath of Gods. All right. Well, what do you got? He got -8 on this, and he can do this. Okay. Well, you got an Aven Mind Sensor. Enjoy. A shoes, as they say in your country. Shoes. All right, what do we got? He may time out, too. Are you going to put an Aven Mind Sensor into play to start beating down? Okay. I've got nothing. I've got an oust. I finally stopped drawing well. Alright, we'll tap, what? This? Alright, sure. Wrath of God for the one Aven Mind Sensor. That's funny. Alright. Although it would have been hilarious if he did just tap out for something dumb. Okay, well, I'm going to lose life every time I draw cards. Which I'm only a one card a turn deck. I don't even think, I don't even think I can draw more than one card a turn. Can I? Only way I can do it is with a card that is already, I believe, exiled right now, which is the Smuggler's Copter. That is the only way I can draw cards. Okay, well, you got my oust. What else do you have going on? Do not of note. Think he needs to activate his Mimic Vat here. Well, we can make the game miserable for everyone. Oops. Actually, this probably is our highest probability of winning. If he's out of counter magic, even then, though. If he's out of counter magic, he probably still wins this. I needed him to, I don't know, do something silly with the Liliana. Maybe just have a counter spell. He's going to win regardless. I'm going to put a 2-1 into play right now. Hit me down to 7 on his turn. I guess plus Liliana. Yeah, I have to, hit runner, land, threat. And even then that doesn't work because he should have activated his Mimic Vat. He would have killed me a little faster. A turn faster, that is. Oh, it's whenever a player draws a card. Yeah, that's pretty fast clock. All right, land. This will make the game last a little longer, though. Oh, can't play that card. So we're quite dead here. We're going to let him run the clock, though, for a bit. He can make me discard it. It's fine. I drew a Silverblade Paladin. No issues discarding it. No, he's not going to discard anymore. Well, land, and I'm dead on your upkeep. Ob Nixilis, a win in the game. It's a clunker, though, in my opinion. Really, it was the Wrath effects that won in that game. As well as Timely Counterspell. I think maybe we could have gotten him if that had not been the case. All right, so we don't really need critter removal. I think here, what do I like better? Maybe I just want more threats. Maybe I just put these crappers back in. Just put these things back in and get rid of cards like... Well, Swords to Plow, or Path to Exile, definitely. Oust, definitely. Don't ever want to draw those two. Declaration Stone still seems okay for tokens off of Planeswalkers. And maybe I just want this sword. Well, this thing has Flash. Yeah, get in there. This thing's mono huge. Get in there. Do I need swords? Not really. Brave the Elements is good. Maybe I just get rid of Declaration Stone, though. Maybe I just cut all the removal and just go, like, aggro. Yeah. What about the Celestial Purge, though? Celestial Purge is interesting. I mean, it would have answered either of those two threats. I think it's too fringe, though. Generally, I want to be using it to, like, answer stuff that like creatures, like creature cards, because I want the board to be open. I mean, yeah, I guess it does answer, like, a card. I feel like it's just going to be something that slows down my loss if I have to cast it. Well, this is a mull. This is a keep. Not the best ever, but it's okay. No turn 1 play. So what do we scry to the top, and then probably... Well, I guess we're not going to have to shuffle it away. So we don't have a turn 1 play. So... Liliana's a good card, though. It's kind of like saying you need air to breathe. Alright, go ahead. I'll keep that land. Yeah, she's not a cheap one. Yeah, I was gonna say it's about it was about 70 to 80 ticks before. She is not likely to, I don't think. We'll see, man. We shall see. I don't think so, though. I think the chances of that are pretty low. Next turn. Whipcorder. These guys are kind of terrible, too, aren't they? Well, I still want more land. What I want to do here, and I really don't want Core Skyfisher. What I want to do here is get nice early threats down, have him tap out for, like, I don't know, something dumb. Like, and then what I want to do is just Armageddon the living crap out of him. Tapped. Yeah, there you go. You don't want to take too much of a beating here. Nice. Well, Antax is a spooky one. Well, planned attacks. That'll set up post Geddon. I know it slows my roll a bit on Geddon, but I think it's a smart play. Plus, he'll want to board wipe me. He could just have, like, a Radiant Flames here and get everything. Well, let's see what we draw for the turn. Hopefully it's gas, because we're getting all these lands out of the deck, and we shouldn't be drawing more, hopefully. Well, not what I would call gas, but it's a card. So, the hope here is that he has to board wipe us. He has no blue mana, so he can't counter my junk. What do we pair with? The Flyer. The worst would be, like, point removal here into a good Planeswalker, so I can't board wipe. Well, even a Planeswalker, like, is going to die to this junk. And then we should be drawing 3 lands next turn. So, like, what my hope is like, he board wipes, plays a land, board wipes me. No, he does not. Okay, well, all right, we're going to stop playing lands then. And we're just going to beat his face. Or do I? Let's see what he does here. Because this is going to kill him very fast. Do you have an answer to this junk? I presume not. Yeah, I think I still get in this turn. I don't think I play this other stuff out. Because I want it post-Wrath if he manages to get it off. And if he doesn't have, like, a 1-mana answer for this junk, then we're just going to win. So, Geddon, go. Okay, yeah, that does it. Geddon will get decks that are greedy. That's the problem with him sometimes. So... I was recording. And Modo did not fail for once. Alright, let's challenge him again. Let's let him play his new deck. I thought he said he was going to build red deck wins, so I was kind of trolling when I chose that deck. Let's play this deck. Oh. Yeah, you cannot miss land drops against that deck, against White Weenie, or Death and Taxes White Weenie. Really, the way I ended up... It still had the mana denial, but like I really just cut all removal and just jam more creatures so that it could have like White Weenie-like draws. It's a great hand. We don't have to play, though. Significantly worse. But if we had to play, this hand is just utter nonsense. Well, do we a Green Sun's Zenith for a Grimflayer next turn? Or a Tarmogoyf? Or what else? Mana fixing? Tapped? Tapped. Cool. Here I think we hope to get down the Gideon next turn. Mother of Runes. Good old Mom. And Kasali. And go. Now, if we can get him to tap out for something dumb next turn, then I think we're just going to jam the Gideon. We know he plays Negate in his deck, and he has plenty of mana. So... Go Kasali. Huh. Kind of feeling Negate. So, that said, we're just going to go for a 3-drop. That 3-drop is likely to be the Kitchen Finks. Or it could be Tireless Tracker. That's an interesting one too, but without being able to activate it on the first turn it comes into play, I think I'm just going to go with Finks. I don't have any lands in my graveyard already. Courser's fine. Yeah, Kitchen Finks. This card obviously does not die to a Wrath of God, if that's what's going to happen here. And then I can kind of rebuild my mana afterwards. Let's mimic that. It's interesting. Interesting choice with a Kasali Pride Mage in play. We'll get Scrubland. And I think here we just do this. We know he's tapped down at this point. So we're getting rid of that just in case, because he probably has a Wrath effect. So I do not... You can put the Kasali under there, but it's not going to do what you want it to do. Could have answered it also with Maelstrom Pulse, but I figured I'd just answer it with the stuff on the board. Alright. Well, Kasali is exiled forever. Poor guy. Well, we're getting Wrathed here. That's almost 100%. I don't think he can kill the Gideon right now, unless he's like... He could be like Maelstrom Pulsing the Gideon. Yeah, Wrath. Okay. Yep, they're all dead. With the exception of the Finks, which comes back, because wisely, we put him on a Wrath of God, and we chose to get Finks, I think. Although by this point, wow, it's a good one. Well, I think in this case, I leave the elves in hand because I'm going to make him discard here. And I want to keep the pulse, I think, for any Planeswalker threat he plays next turn. And we're going to smash him. We're going to crunch him for a bunch of damage. Doke. Oh. Take 7. And F6. What did he discard, just for information? A Magister of Worth. Okay. Was he on his 5-color Planeswalker deck again? I thought he was working on a new deck. He loves this deck. I just don't think it's quite good enough. I think it's too slow. And it's relying on me playing just tons of creatures. Okie doke. Well, let's attack the mana base here. Start blowing up the lands. If he has like an utter or whatever it is, the exiling effect, utter ruin or something. No, comeuppance. Okay. That's what he has. Well, I don't want my things to die, so just put this thing into play. And I think we're going to discard our card here. I don't feel like there's much he can do, and I think the Lily is just a bigger threat when she gets to 6. So we'll lose our Maelstrom Pulse. I don't think he can cast a very relevant permanent on 3 mana. Nissa Vital Force, yeah. Well, I'm not attacking here, obviously. But we've widened our permanent base a little bit, and well, even like a Swords to Plowshares will not keep him alive here. Well, I am going to play this out. And we hit land off top. I'm going to play it out just to play technically sound. No, we don't. Well, discard a card, man. He hasn't conceded, so I assume he probably has some sort of fast effect or something like that to deal with the Gideon. Could have, like, Path to Exile. Path to Exile plus Lightning Bolt would keep him alive. Alright, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Well, make him big. Could have, like, just the card Exile. Exile could be a reason. Well, I mean, even if he has Exile, I'm going to tack into him. Force him to cast it. Exile would be a card that keeps him alive here because he could get there. Okay, he doesn't have it. Trying to think through what he has. But he did not have it. He just wanted me to make the decision to attack him. Okay, I think Gaddock Teague is going to be stellar in this matchup. And actually, like, I don't know why no one's run Gaddock against him. I think this is going to be good in this matchup as well. I think Haven Mindsensor's fine. I think Shriek Maw is utter rubbish. I think this is rubbish. I think this is rubbish. I think I want this. I think this card is fine. Even more just like straight kill spells because they're not good. Diabolic Edict. Diabolic Edict is one of the better ones. Is there anything else that's better over here? Sylvan Library seems fine in this matchup. It seems better than some of this stuff. I think I cut the Edict for it. Because I don't think the Edict is that great. I mean, like, it in fringe cases where, like, he's attacking with a Gideon or something like that, it's good. But, like, that's kind of fringe. It's kind of loose, I think. Alright, well. Choke, not good enough. Oh, we're playing 4-color ourselves, so we don't have any Blood Moon effects or back to basics. Unfortunately. Yeah, hand's stellar. Turn 1, Avacyn's Pilgrim, into turn 2, Lotus Cobra the World? Or is it? Huh. Well, hoping to hit a fetch land off the top. That would be pretty good. If we do not, what do you have? Abrupt Decay or something like that? Nope. Lotus Cobra. Do you have a counterspell? Well, land is still good. Although, next turn... Next turn we can get our other land back with the Eternal Witness. Could just have a Toxic Deluge in hand, though, and we just lose all our cards. I still think I play it out this way, though. I will... Yep. I'm going to play out my Mother of Runes. If he has it, he has it. I think we need to play to win, though. And we're going to play out this Mother of Runes. Just got to be aware of it. I mean, if we get T-Delled here, well, rough beats. Good, better luck next time. All right, we've got something here. Abrupt Decay. Nice. That was the one I was actually hoping he'd hit. That means he probably doesn't have follow-up Wrath effects that he can do this turn, which means that I'm going to get to E-Wit, back my Flooded Strand, tapped, thank you. Or we could just draw that. And I'm going to put the Garruk into play. Yes. Green. Because Garruk, I think, is going to be a tough permanent for him to deal with. You could just have a negate, which I don't think is a great card in this matchup. Oh, not that. No. Just put a 2-2. And we'll attack you. Now if he board wipes me with something that's like not, you know, Anger of the Gods, I can get some of this stuff back. Or I can just get the fetch land back. Or MOR. Mother of Runes would be fine too. Could actually just... Oh, he's out of lands. And create a wolf. And I think... Yeah, it stinks when you get mana screwed, man. Alright, we're going to play out the sword here. We're giving him information, but I don't want to attack in and have him, like, remove the Cobra mid-attacks or something random like that. I mean, I doubt that would happen. Yep. Basically colorless mana. And... we get the plateau. Yep. Is the extra damage relevant? Probably not. Well, sort of fire and ice or sort of wind. Oh, if you wrath me, then you get all my junk. No, he misses. Alright, well, that's too bad. Can I kill this turn? Not quite. Actually, I probably miscounted. I probably could have actually activated the Stirring Well, would attack for additional 3. And would that have mattered here? Would I have killed this turn? Is it worth exposing the Stirring Wildwood? Maybe not. Alright, Tangle. Oh, I can't counter that. So no, it would not have mattered that much. This stuff will not untap. So I think what we do is this. We put the sword on our mana dork. If he wants to board wipe us, he can. You have a moment's peace or something like that? Well, I'm going to leave this stuff in my hand just in case he randomly has Toxic Deluge. Which even that is dicey here. Yeah. Okay. Seems about right. And you miss that long, I mean, you're that far behind, it's just... There's no good draws, really. There aren't good draws there. Well, let's see if he'll play his new deck against us. Cool. Alright, we're going to play as a Azorious this time. I love playing Azorious. Azorious Helm Control. Look, Mom, no creatures is the other name of the deck. Alright. Yeah. Snap keep. Why are my cards so huge down there? I don't think I want this. I think I'll keep this, though. Don't know what he's on. He could be on the Planeswalker deck again. If he is, Detention Sphere tends to be a lot better than Wrath Effects. No, it looks like he's on White Weenie. So... Okay. Well, he can get a land here. Gotta let him. I don't think I can play around that for a long time. I need to hit land drops. He does not have to hit as many. Although I think where we build back our card advantage, he's gonna accrue card advantage here, but I think where we get it back is with Day of Judgment. Which actually maybe we wanted the Wrath of God, but I think one of those types of effects is generally enough. We got Condemn for anything that squirts on the outside of that, gets around it. And specifically Smuggler's Copter, which is beat the living crap out of this deck twice. That card is just abysmal to play against with a build like this. And sorry, one of my friends is telling me that squirter or squirting is not a common term. So, by profession, I'm an army person. And when you talk about setting up ambush points, etc., squirting are the folks that don't end up buying the farm in the area you intend them to, and they get outside of it. So that's what it kind of means. Sorry about that. Sometimes I'll use some interesting lingo. All right. So we got an island. So he's on blue-white. Okay. Well, maybe we just go beat down here on him. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, this feels wrong. Yeah, we'll get this thing. If he has a spell pierce, then he can just get it. Yep, pierce. Force spike. Okay. Nope. At this point in the game, though, I'd rather have that force spiked than my timely. So the other thing I can do is this. Well, it doesn't appear to be playing a lot of creatures. Alright, Seachrome Coast of his own. Okay, what do you got? If he plays a creature card out here, do we... No, he wants to counter my spells. Okay. Go. I don't need to play more land right now. I'm close enough that if he just starts dumping threats on the board... He's gotten 2 free cards, though, which is spooky. Okay. And he bounced back a plains. I like this. He's going to discard. So that's a card lost. Plus, I'm going to Wrath of God. Does he attack here? I'm not going to condemn that thing. I'll go ahead and discard your card, and then I'm going to get these 2. So down to 7. And I think Tundra. Don't have days one time. If he has days, that's pretty good here. Okay, go. We effectively put him back on mana now. That card does not scare me. Maybe it should. That card's a bomb. And we're just going to do what we do. Sit back here and counter spells and hopefully eventually draw our combo kill. You take the damage? No. Okay. Well, we'll keep on drawing lands. Lands are good. 2 counter spells at this point, one of which is a card advantage engine. Caracas. Plays a lot more non-basics than we, I think, do. A Kythian? Okay. Now we'll get the Underground Sea. That's some timely action. You got a counter war over a timely. Okay. A disallow for a timely. Interesting. I'll mana leak you. Could Caracas or Pie the Needle the Caracas here. If he has a relevant threat, then we're going to get in a little more trouble, but we do have the Cryptic Command to kind of come back from behind, allow him to expand a little more rapidly here. Okay, well, what have he got? Hopefully more threats. He's gonna get all my soldier tokens with that thing? Cool. No problemo. He can attack me for 2. Not going to condemn his Gideon here. That seems silly. Well, I got a detention sphere out of hand. We will hit the Caracas at this point because I don't really have a great way of dealing with the Kythian. You get to counter this. Caracas. Okay. Which makes my own Caracas out of play. But I can condemn his Kythian here. Although, I probably won't this turn. He's up on mana. I need to get to more cards. I do want to leave both counter spells up. Yeah, I'm fine with this. I'll take the 2. 2 is fine by me. Well, do you have a relevant threat? I'll counter that. If he has a counter of his own, that's why I've left my mana up for Remand. We're going to bottom that. I want gas more than I want land, I think, here. Well, that is a good one. And had I known I was drawing that next, I probably would have kept the land, because it's essentially... fine by me. Start tying up his mana. Doesn't provide us any mana, but hey, you can pay 1 for it every turn. Yep. More land. We'll get this now, see if we can start a fight. I wanted to get him to tap low. He may even fight it. I don't know. If he does, I tend to be okay with that. I just get a counterspell out of his hand. Can find more ways to deal with the Kythian. He's debating countering this, which is not a bad thing. If he does, do I counter back? Yeah, probably do. Probably fight him on it. Counter draw. If you want to tap down lower, then I can resolve a Sphinx's Rev on the next turn. Cool. Alright, well, he doesn't have any more counters. I don't think he does, at least. I'm going to go for it here. It's only a 2 for 1, but let's get up a little bit on cards. If he has a counter, well, he does. Deal with it. There is a win con. 3 mana up still to flip it back to hands. And a counterspell. Not a great one, albeit, at this point in the game with this much mana. But, nonetheless, a counterspell. And a Swords to Plowshares, which is fine. So, like, when he does find his relevant threat, looks like he's just finding land right now. Which, if all you find is land, well, you're sure to lose. Alright. Yep, we'll pay 1 for the germ. Nope, solid draw. Get rid of this, and start beating him down. How many turns this away? 2? Well, hopefully he doesn't get something significant. Like an Elsbeth or something like that. That would be a beating. Although, if he gets an Elsbeth, we could just let our germ die, fire up the Conclave, and then attack the Elsbeth for lethal with the Fairy Conclave, and then he has a bunch of 1/1s, a bunch of nonsense. Elsbeth Sun's Champion would be a card up here, but I think we can get that, actually. A Sword of Fire and Ice. Okay. Well, you need to have a threat to make that relevant. Well, let's make it a 3-turn clock. Hopefully hurry up before he draws something relevant. Okay. Well, we have one of our own of note. Although I likely will remand his first play here. I am drawing 3 additional cards, 4 cards next turn total, at a minimum. So, what do you have? A creature threat? We'll likely remand it. No. Go ahead and recast it. Good sir. That was a solid draw for his turn. Okay, well that's not a counterspell. Okay. Well, you're going to bounce. Okay. Well, can you kill the Batterskull next turn? You get a chance to look with Jace, but Jace is dead the turn after, I think. Unless he can, like, double Mise here. Which would be unfortunate, because that Jace was a stellar top deck. Yep, draw cards. Go ahead and draw them, man. You do have Swords to Plowshares to get any creature card out of the way that may be trying to block the spirits. Although I'm going to pay a sizable amount next turn, 3 mana, to keep all my junk. Due to the Tabernacle. But Jace has got to go. I'll put 2 back. You're at 4 cards, I'm at 4 cards. It was nice that he had to bounce the Batter Skull the first turn it came into play. What are we hoping for now? Probably Counter Magic, depending on what he plays this turn. Oh, what have you got, man? Well, land for starters, which is fine by me. Do you have a threat? Could just have a Wrath of God. Although, Wrath of God is not bad for me. I tend to be okay with that. If he has, like, I don't know. That's fine. Yeah, so unless... So what he's trying to tempt here is, if he has removal, like that is so rough. If he has removal for the Celestial Colonnade, hopefully it's just a creature card. A True Name Nemesis? No, a Glenalandra. Okie doke. Well. Well, do you want to lose your Glenalandra? Yep, you do, obviously. I can see it going either way there. And we do have both a Deprive. We have both the Deprive and the ability to flip. We can't do both, but we have the ability to flip our Batter Skull back or counter a relevant spell. Okay. Okay. We'll cast out the Souls here. Leave up our Counter Magic. You can counter this if you like. Countering a flashback spell is card advantage for me. I'd be fine with that. I'm not going to run the Skull into obvious Counter Magic without the ability to back it up with Deprive. And he kind of thought through that too. Okay, so he wants to counter my Skull, I think. But the thing is, I really don't even need the Skull here. And these things are actually also very awesome for blocking out anything equipped with the Sword of Fire and Ice. Outside of a True Name Nemesis. True Name Nemesis is an auto Wrath of God target. Not target, but Wrath of God. I have to Wrath of God if he plays True Name out. If he does, he'll obviously equip it up. Then we'll Wrath of God and likely after the fact. Alright, Sower of Temptation. Yeah, that's cool. That one does not bother me. Okay. Okay. Nope. See if he goes for the block. If he does, we have a Deprive plus Into the Royal up. Okay. We'll Into the Royal the Sword back. Drawing a card. Well, do you have another one? If he does, it's very unfortunate. Pay 1. You can draw some cards here. But it comes at the cost of damage. Hopefully he draws a card and plays out a creature threat. That's kind of my hope. Now, more land. He has to also consider that I may have Force of Will. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Well, lose your creature card. And we're going to go hard control here. On a Wrath of Gotham. If he counters this, I probably counter back. Okay, well, we have a Logic Knot for his next play. We have a Batter Skull to win the game. He probably has some silly threat. Lin Vala. Well, how much is this going to cost me? An amount I can most certainly pay. This one. And just to play around Force Spike or Daze randomly, I think I'm going to leave my land up because I can't pay more with Delve. So it's going to be plus 5, 6, 7, so 8. Okay. Well, Condescend, Portent, Ancestral Visions, Wasteland, Sphinx Rev, I think I want. This can go, this can go. Condemn can go. I think this card can go. This card can certainly go. Only need one Wrath effect. Deprive, no thanks. Into the Royal. Oh, wait, I don't need to do this many, do I? Cancel. Alright, how many do I need to do, actually? So it's 5, 6, 7, so I need to do 8. Okay, so Into the Royal. Condemn. Timely. Day. Land. Portent I like less than Preordain here. So I need to do it for 8. One more. Deprive is worse than Dissolve on this much mana. And that's 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Alright, get countered unless you have a counter yourself. And if you have a Daze or a Force Spike, I can pay for it with my Underground Sea. If you have a hard counter, well, this is resolving. And that stinks. It's a flyer, so it's going to be tough to... Hopefully the next one's a Ground Pounder. Wonder why he would tap his Caracas to do that. Could have a ground threat. Gosh. Well, you know what? The good thing is this. I do have a Factor Fiction that I know is resolving next turn. Yep, cool. Alright. YOLO. I'll take the top pile, the bigger the 2. Yep. I'll draw many cards. And evidently fail to find. Alrighty. Well, we're going to leave up the memory lapse here. Maybe it would have been better off casting the Battered Skull. Okay. Vindicate would be good, too. If I could just get rid of that sword is just a pain in the butt. Well, we will cycle this. Oops. This will keep me alive a bit longer. Well, can we get there? It looks like he's going to draw a million cards off of this sword. Kind of failed to find good answers to it, though. I think, well, I mean, it happens. And he's probably going to be on a lot of counter magic at this point. So we have to attack him with our Battered Skull at this point. Yep. I will memory lapse just about anything. That, though, yeah, you know what? I am going to lapse that just to buy time. If he has a counter for this, so be it. I'm still going to gain the 4 this turn and be able to recast. Yep. Oh, my goodness. Well, it's what they would call a very poor last couple draws, including, well, the Factor Fiction really didn't find us what we needed. Yep, you got it. You have a counter spell for this? If he found his card draw spell, we're just losing. That card, does it do it here? So 7 plus 2? Not quite. 7 plus 2, 9. Yeah, no, not quite. I don't think, unless he has another... Yep. Oh, yeah, I guess the Krakus is just a plains. I was like wondering why he was doing that when he had the Linvala cast. Well, mono flyers, which are going to be annoying here. Although I think we are going to clock him. Either way. Yep. Yeah, it's cool. Well, guys, I think we just lost here. Unfortunately. But we've unfortunately just topped lands. Well, this is only 6. Wow, he let me block. Cool. Well, it's one more turn, I guess. Yeah, it's fine. I think you do that beforehand. I guess he's trying to play around Path to Exile. The blowouts. He can kill my land if he likes. I don't think 1 is more relevant than 0. Well, 1 is more relevant than 0. 1 is not more relevant than 3. And my guess is even if I find what I need to make the combo work here, I'm going to get countered. Yeah, sure. Well, let's see. Do you have a counter spell? Probably. Probably has a counter. Too many turns of just drawing lands. My guess is he found it. Yep, and that's the game. We'll concede it here, not to waste any more of his time. I don't have anything I can do against this right now. Could attack, and I won't stay alive for another turn. Yep, that's game. Alrighty, so we can beat this. Now back to basics, isn't it? But this is it. I think it's gas. This card feels like gas. Moat does not feel like gas. Moat feels pretty bad. Vidalcan Shackle seems fine to me. Timely seems fine. Engineered seems okay. Pithy Needle seems good. Muddle? No. I think this card's worse in this matchup. Alright, let's go. Just inefficient, and I don't really care about gaining 4 life. I don't think the game's about that in this matchup. One point in time I had Tezzeret in here. Maybe I just need to put Tezzeret back. It's an additional search engine for the helm. Some tutors. I don't know. Like, they're just so bad most of the time, though. Maybe if I could have, like, Mystical Tutor, I'd play him. We really need to relook the ban list. The volume of blue cards that have been nerfed is just unbelievable to me. Especially when you have cards like Smuggler's Copter in there that I think is honestly on power level with Treasure Cruise. I really do. A lot of people would doubt me on that. I think in the decks that it is good in, it is just as good as that card. Because essentially it takes away all the downsides of playing aggro, which is that you have to play around your top deck, and that you get beaten by Wraths, by 4-mana spells that eat your cards. I really do think we need to relook the blue bans. I honestly think we should just do... I don't know. I mean, if it were me, I would just chop all of the restricted cards from Vintage. I like powerful decks and powerful effects. Just keep... Got to make it to the late game. Got to figure out a way to protect this thing. But we'll get there. Fetch land, turn 1. Nope, he has that thing again. You gonna attack me? So what we're doing here is putting him in a position where he can discard. Actually, he's going to timeout anyway. He will time out in this game anyway. I just noticed how low his time is. Ours is not much better, but we can beat him on clock. That's likely what we're going to do here. Unfortunately. He'll miscalc his next play. And you're going to discard here. That is why I did it. Unless you're going to play another card. A Snapcaster? That does not seem like a good tactic to me, my friend. We'll just get a basic. You can plank me to death. A Brimaz. Probably should have done that pre-combat, but hey. Well, can we get a Wrath of God one time? And actually, Emote would be looking good right now. That, not as much. Well, I'm not going to discard here, so I guess I'm going to have to let him just draw cards. Yuck. Alright, go ahead. Not very great draws this game. But we did keep one that was a little riskier. I guess it was prone to Weathered Wayfarer land tax. Well, Supreme Verdict one time would be nice. Obviously keeping up counter magic. Well, what's the hope here? Something dumb into, I don't know, into Elsbeth or Wasteland. Okay. Well, what are the chances he doesn't have counter magic? About 0. 0.0 is probably closer to it. So, well, he just wins anyway, even if I cast that thing or put that thing on the board. Well, one time, no interaction. Probably not the case. And yep, you got it. Alrighty. Unfortunate, because if we could have forced a game 3, we would have easily won. I think because he just time based. What are we feeling like now? Let's do some Grixis. I don't think he can beat this deck. We'll see though. If he brings White Weenie, he could. Oh, what's going on, man? I did, man. We are recording. Of course I did. Yep, he beat me in a recorded match. I'll put it up too. I don't mind losing games in Magic. It happens sometimes. You know. Of note, he had the 2 cards that really roared a player to be on the draw. Both Weathered Wayfarer against Control, specifically Weathered Wayfarer plus land tax. Those cards are just going to beat you. Yeah, it'll go online. It'll go on YouTube. I'll put it up. It's like the first recordable stuff I've had in a while. Nope. Mull. Yep. Bottom. Don't want to first draw that. I want to get black mana online. Alright, we're fighting against the death and taxes. do this first, I think. A Mother of Runes is going to be tough. We need a Toxic Deluge, the Savannah Lions, the Lions of the Savannah. Okay, Doom Traveler. Be kind of cool if he attacked with his Mother of Runes. I don't think he will, though. No. Well, looking for more mana. Huh. Well then, let's see what he casts here. Probably have to beat this deck post-board. If he attacks with all of them, that'd be great for us. But what I'm really looking for right now, I don't have Damnation in the deck, is a way to get rid of the Mother of Runes. Alright, that's a good one too. Oh, we're probably just losing here. Negate? Yeah, it's probably not going to be good enough. I'm going to play this out. Well, hopefully we can condescend a spell this turn. And find ourselves a Toxic Deluge. I think that's about the only way we win this. Very solid draw to the opponent. Caracas, okay. Well, it'd be cool if you had a 4-drop. No, Mirror Entity? Well, I am going to do this anyways because my draw is very limited when I can find. I need to get Toxic Deluge and that alone. If I get that, I can probably not lose the game. Yeah, I don't... Alright, bottom and bottom. Don't want either of those cards. Can I survive a turn? Nope. Just stone cold dead. Oh, Dark Confidant. Is there any way I live through this next turn so they're all 4/4s? Nope, I'm just dead. Well... Pretty sure I'm just stone cold dead. That draw worked out fairly smooth for him, though. Alright, let's see what he does here. We'll Vendilion click ourselves, not him. Because frankly, it's irrelevant what we find here. And even if I find it here, I'm still dead, but I can't. Factor Fiction? Well, it's a nice card, but it's not going to get me out of this. And pump. And concession. Okay, so let's go to boards here. Can't beat that. And Whip Flares of the world. Yeah, get in there. Get in there. Dreadnought, get in there. Okay, what don't I like in this matchup? The slow stuff. Torrential Gearhulk is good late game. Complicate, kind of slow. Dissolve, kind of slow. I think I'd rather have a Spellskite. And we'll cut a Disallow. And let's try this out. That's a pretty horrific beating. But that's what White Winnie does sometimes. Sometimes they just, have the stone cold nuts. In our land, against a slower deck, that hand was fine, but it was too dirtily. We didn't have removal. We didn't know what we're playing against. So, I do like our post-boarded matchup better, and I know what I'm playing against. This is a keep. No turn 1 would be nice. Of note, not a lot of disruption, but As long as it's not Mother of Runes, that's fine. Savannah Lions, I am fine with. Could just have 2 1-drops. That would be the worst. 2 1-drops would be bad here for us. A 2-drop is fine. Get a volcanic island here. I think we mana leak him just to leave open options with the miscalc, so I can cycle it next turn. Okay, go. Oh, what 3-drop do you have? Hopefully not a Planeswalker like an Ajani. That would be pretty brutes. Okay, a Relic Seeker. Do you have another 1-drop? Yuck. That's fine. That's a fine 1-drop. Miscalc, as much as it pains me. Go into the bin. A Master a Decoy. Well, we got a Counterspell and a Fatal Push, and Jace the following turn. We're not going to do this on our turn, just in hopes that we can get him to equip the Basilisk Collar, which I think he was likely to do. Or, no, he's not. Okay. Fatal Push. And actually, we could just use the Liliana to get his next creature. The Liliana's pretty decent here, I think. I'm going to counter here just to allow myself to leave the Liliana in play and also have Jace unmolested. And or he could play another 1-drop creature, but I don't think he has one. Jace. Just go ahead and discard a card, man. Do I top him? No, I don't top here. His cards are all fairly irreplaceable. Maybe we can get his last card too. Badlands? Cool. Path to Exile. Okay, go. Yep. Go ahead and sack that thing off. And maybe we can Mize a 2-drop. Nope, a Mirran Crusader. Well, do you want to get the Lily, or do you want to get my other thing? Okay. Well, you gain a bunch of life. Which one do you kill? Which one do you kill? The Jace, evidently. Okay. Force of Will is next creature play, if he has one here. Or, even better, Spell Snare it. Alright. Go Lily. Well, even a better answer. Okay. Well, hopefully we can get an exiling effect here. You can attach that. Okay. Well, it's dead. Well, the attack here. It's risky. Risky business. You're going to get countered here, I think. Well, the attack? I think that's risky. Now you got to stay back this turn. And the question becomes, will you block? Yep. Could just draw a Tombstalker here. Nice. Okay. Well, we've got 6 on the board, so he's dead. Okay. I think the last card in his hand is a land. Almost 100%. I think we played this one well, though. His tops were not horrendous. Although I don't like Basilisk Collar. Still don't. Spear of Heliod. Still think it's bad. Definitely was not a game 1 draw. Then again, we also kept better, too. I'll take Thoughtseize. It's fine. I don't intend on Thoughtseizing you. It's just doing it for mana efficiency, and it's the right thing to do. Well, hopes of Bob killing us are pretty much nil. Because unless he has some random way to get me here, I think we just got him. Alright, begin boarding. Painful Truths, yuck. Do I want Sun Droplet? No, I don't think so. Alright, well, let's just submit. I think that's right. Massacre would be nice right now. Everyone loves a good massacre. Well, early interaction. Actually, the Dwarven Miners are horrendous, aren't they? I didn't even notice those guys. Get out of there. You two. You get back in there. Resubmit. Sundrop was definitely better than Dwarven Miner here. Ugh. Or maybe it's Disallow. Yeah, we'll leave Sundroplet in. It's better than the 3-mana counterspell. Actually, you know what? Let's double guess ourselves. It's definitely Dissolve, because I'm probably going to be hunting for answers to the board state. There we go. Alright, this is probably better. I forgot the miners were in here. Alright, Pyroclasm, Whip Flare, 1 time. You know, or a Dreadnought. I could do with any of those 3. They'll seem very good to me. Did not see him that game, but managed to kind of out-tempo him a bit. Given it involved 2 very powerful planeswalkers to do it. Well, it's a no-lander with a Whip Flare. Well, I got half of what I wished for. All right, Mull. Cool. No, I don't need that. Black mana I'll keep. That straight to the bottom. Could have bolted this thing turn 1. Would have taken 2 to... It isn't worth it. Would have had untapped land. Would have taken 2, which I'm going to take off the thing anyways, to bolt it. So... Okay. Well, we'll leave up Counter Magic and Lightning Bolt here. Whip Flare I'm going to ride. Hopefully I can get, like, I don't know, like a 3 mana, like Always Watching or something. If he does nothing this turn... A Bygone Bishop. We'll counter that. And then black mana. Come on. One time. Yep, black mana. Then here, we're going to get Underground Sea. Oh, I can't tap today. Get 2 cards out of you. And hopefully a flurry of little guys. The worst would be just like a land Elspeth. Go. That'd be game loss. What do we get? A Journey to Nowhere? Alright. Well, go ahead. I hope you just blow up the board, put a bunch of little idiots on the board. That is my hope. Well, Elspeth is kind of feeling likely. We've got a 4 mana Planeswalker. Yuck. No, that card's fine. I just get that with Bolt. You're going to put a land back in your hand? And I will. Well. Well, let's do this. Let's inform our decision. I'm not going to counter the Handwer Militia. If he mises really well, well then, he does. Yep. Nice. Need to draw a threat now. We're both knocking our top deck. His is more littered with critters. Nothing. Nice. Do I thin my chances of drawing land? No, I think I leave it up for Chase the Mind Sculptor or a bomb like that. But I'm going to fetch regardless. Badlands. Well, I hate to get rid of the lapse. And maybe I don't. Maybe I do not here. Yeah, I don't think I do. The card he has in hand is removal, more than likely, or land. So I'm going to leave the Memory Lapse in hand and actually not get rid of it. Because I want to stop his top deck. Got to play into it at some point in time. Okay. Sky Knight is fine by me. So either as removal or what in hand? So next turn, what we're hoping to do is this. Yep. We're going to get him on the draw step. What do you got in hand? A Master a Decoy. No. I'm good with Master Decoy. And we'll lapse that thing on top of his deck to have assurance that he's drawing it next turn. Castable. Not a castable, but well, the race is on. I don't know how likely I am to win it. Need to hit something different than land. Hit 2 lands in a row. You can attack my or my Liliana, rather. What other threat have you drawn? Hopefully not a really good one. It's a good one. Removal. Well, we'll get him for our 3. Go, go, Lily. Come on, top deck. Answers, please. At least I have an answer to his next creature threat. Well, more land. Obviously play it out. I'm just going to keep on banging his hand. Unmake. Yep. Lily does give us a bit of time, I think, though. Unless he just draws an Elspeth. Oof. Oh, what do we get here? Bottom and top that. Alright, I don't know why he didn't play his planes now. You might as well. Liliana's such a beast. Okay, a glorious anthem, which means that our bolt of lightning is going to be a little worse here. And actually, we just do that. Make him discard. Well, would make us a discard as well. But we do have it on recursion, so if it's a 1 toughness creature, I can at least burn it out with the firebolt. And then Liliana is going to divide his permanents the following turn. Probably 2 lands versus 3 lands. And the Glorious Anthem. This game has been a skull drag, though, huh? Kind of a good game, though. Like, I think I don't know. I have to go back and look at it. Maybe we haven't played optimally. I think we've played decently well this game, though. I think he has too, but I mean, given the purview of his deck is a little bit more narrow than our own. What do you have in hand? The Strength of Arms. Okay. Could just have like something that makes 3 creatures or something like that, just like blow us out horrendously. Like no, nothing. Well, we're quite landed ourselves. We'll separate your permanents out. Which one do you want? May misclick. This is a harder card to play around. Yeah, I figured it. Yeah. I probably will fetch here. Have I already used my... no, I'm not going to fetch here. I'll save it just in case I get a Jace. Yeah, it's fine. His creatures are huge now, so of note. Man, cannot stop drawing the lands. Alright, God's willing. Drawing a lot of lands this game. I think we're due for something that's non-land. We will fetch this time around. Yep, Sigiled Paladin. 4/4. Mono huge. Oh, there we go. I think our patience was rewarded. Or maybe not. I don't know. Well, there's a Dread. Oh, this hand's mono gas. Looks like mono gas to me. You got a Tassiger, a Dread of Night. Yeah, this is pretty beastly. Tassiger all by himself. The rest of this all looks pretty good. So that becomes a 4/4 upon attacks. Yeah, whatever. We'll still kill it. Why not? Do this now. Limits his information. I like all of these cards. Probably get Firebolt back would be my guess, but that's just fine. It's going to kill him faster. Or Whip Flare. Whip Flare is probably not that good. Although with Dread in play, it becomes a little more relevant against this +1/+1. So it's essentially +1. Yeah, so the 1 toughness creatures will still have 2 toughness. Because of Dread. Yeah, we have so much land in play. This is a lot of land, even for this deck. We have definitely... Well, how many do we have? How many have we exiled? I think we've drawn way more than is likely. So this is 1, 2... Oh, correction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, it's... Actually, no, that's about right. That's about where we should be. With this many cards left in deck. Not counting the 2 I just ditched with Tassiger. It's about where we should be. You Mize removal? No, but you have that guy. Okay. I will allow it. I'll ditch this Blood Crypt. I don't think I need another. Okay. I'll Firebolt this little guy. Oops. That was an accidental tap. Well, what do you give us? None of it looks very good for you. Oh, thank you. Let me use my mana at least efficiently. A bottom and a top. So he has 3 mana, and we have a Miscalc and a Terminate. Feel pretty good. Probably correct play there is to actually terminate that thing. But yeah, I'm just playing for speed here. Oh, Tasigur. On this much mana, Tasigur is ridiculous. Oh, what do you give me? None of it's great for you. Serum Visions again? Maybe. Yep. Well, Liliana will not be needed after this turn. And that should be good games. Yep. Beat the living crap out of us the first game, but we managed to get them. Alrighty. So, let's see if he wants one more. And what do I feel like playing? What 4-color blood? See if he wants one more. If he does not, well, okay. Hands keep. Fetch turn 1 Savannah. Or Bayou. He's on a play. Alright. Well, that stinks. Turn 1 Mana Dork. Cool. Which card's likely to be better? The Mind Sensor or the Voice? Probably Voice in this matchup. Oh, what do you got? Something to kill my Llanowar Elves? That's fine with me. I have plenty of mana. No, you're getting a 1-drop. A Noble Hierarch. The noblest of Hierarchs. Or Llanowar Elves, who knows. Could be Deathrite as well. Deathrite would not be a bad choice here. No, just a Noble Hierarch. Okay. I think we're going Scrubland here. I think we're just going to go aggro. If he has a fetch land this next turn, well, we're going to lament it. If we had been able to have the Aven Mind Sensor up last turn, it would have been awesome to get a Greens in Zenith. Well, there's not a land we could have stopped. So I'm kind of glad we went this route. Like I said, I think if the Voice dies, it's going to be a bigger beatdown card in this matchup. But let's see what he gets up to here. Could just play a big, stupid Obstinate Balothon or something like that, or a Thrun. Who knows? A Chameleon Colossus. That's fine. It's big. Don't think it's main deckable, though. Well, can we draw removal for it? No, but that's a good one. Get in there, you. If you want to kill this thing, Please be my guest. I would love to have a 5/5. Nope. Although we'd have to be a little worried about Westvale Abbey. I mean, I guess right now it's not the most threatening. But it could get there. Yeah, I'm definitely glad I went with the Voice of Resurgence line as opposed to the Mind Sensor line. We'll see this turn, though, if I still am. Well, our board is pretty well developed for a turn 3. Birthing Pod. Well, we can definitely blow this. I see you take all this damage. Cool. We can definitely blow this on the following turn. What 5-drops are you going to get? Probably, what's that silly thing called? Could just get an Acidic Slime. A lot of damage, man. I guess you got to get value out of it while you can. The Aven Mind Sensor will be good here, though. Yeah, Protection Black's not helping him out too much here. Acidic Slime, Thragtusk, possible. Although if he gets Thragtusk, I'm going to be happy. I don't really care about the life gain here. It's slightly relevant. Okay, that's fine with me. I'm glad that's that and not a more aggressive card like Whisperwood Elemental. Because I feel like I can beat this with the Aven Mind Sensor. Don't have the artifact hate in my hand. But let's act like we're scrambling a little bit. We'll still throw this thing out there. If he wants to block with his Thragtusk, he can go right on ahead. And then we'll hope to set up an Aven Mind Sensor turn this next turn. So he goes to sacrifice this. He can't find, hopefully, a 6-drop, because I'm assuming there's only a couple in his deck. Hopefully we just get him here. Get him to spend mana and then get his Birthing Pod. Birthing Pod's a tough card to beat, but Mind Sensor does a number against it. But we'll limit him on mana, the ability to cast his spells, and while he's trying to use Birthing Pod to find them, we can just kind of win that way. Of note, Knight is size huge. Okay. You go for the Primeval Titan. He is now. If he sacks me, I won't be tilted, but that'll be kind of bogus. He could sack me here and just end up getting the Primeval Titan anyway off the top 4 cards in his deck. which would seem highly unlikely, but I have seen some silly stuff sometimes. This should probably fail to find. If there is a God in heaven, this will likely fail to find. If there's not, well, we're just going to get sacked. That would be hilarious, though. That would be mercilessly lucky. Alright, fails to find a card. That's what I figured. That's got to be a bad feeling. I think we attempt to one-shot him here. Oh, I don't want to attempt to one-shot him. I think there was 2 lines. We either use the Knight to eventually one-shot him with the Mother of Runes. It's going to take a long time, though. We're just going to trit his board, force him to block. He's not blocking anything. Alright. Well, next turn you're dead. Aven Mind Sensor, OP. More OP than Birthing Pod. You saw it here. That's not true. Aven Mind Sensor is not even remotely as good as Birthing Pod, but it does stop Birthing Pod very well. It pairs up pretty poorly for whoever's playing the Birthing Pod, if the opponent has one. Yep. Okay. If he'd gotten, even if he'd gotten the Primeval Titan, like, do we specifically lose there? I don't think so. I don't think we're specifically losing. Oh, hopefully it doesn't have Birthing Pod. I think I'm just going to board this in. Forked Bolt good enough? Probably not. I'm going to take out Storm Cell Visitor. No, that helps win races. I'm going to be racing, I think. I want the removal package. This sword is worse. But the sword's still good. It's just slow. Well, no. Yeah, we'll cut this one. Just a little too slow. It's 5 mana. Plus, it can still be blocked. The Sword of Feast and Famine, though, is going to be great in this matchup, I think. Maybe we get some Marchesa love. That'd be awesome. Get some Marchesa action going on. Card's good. Bloodbraiding into Knight of the Reliquary, which Knight of the Reliquary is arguably, I mean, not arguably, it is a better card than Bloodbraid. Is pretty brutal, though. Knight of the Reliquary is like one of those 3 drops, like Tireless Tracker, Knight of the Reliquary, and what else? Courser Crewfix is a good one. Those may be, I'm probably missing one. Like in green, I think those are probably the best 3 drops there are for the exchange rate. And Knight of the Reliquary, I think, is ahead of Courser. And Tireless Tracker is tough call. Knight of the Reliquary is probably better than Courser or than Tireless Tracker. Although it's tough because like it does require fixing to cast it. But I don't know. Its effect in certain decks is so irreplaceable. Like in this deck to fix. If you're a combo deck, you could just loam them out. Loam is obviously not an authorized card in this format. It's not. It's banned, unfortunately. Although I do love the card. I think Loam is awesome. I think what people are afraid of is like Loam Wasteland lock. I mean, which is a thing. But like as you've seen with like the minors, like when you're trying to lock someone on turn 3 or 4, it doesn't tend to work as well. This hand's a keep. The only question we have is, do we discard turn 1 or do we just jam the elf? I think we just jam the elf because we know we're playing against green. We're going to keep this. And I think we're going to go for the Anafinza. Could be Folly. Turn 1 Mana Dork, yep. How do I regret this? Probably don't. Although if I do draw a good efficient 2-drop next turn, I'll cast that out and Inquisition him. If it was Thoughtseize, that would have been more of a debate in my head. Okay, cool. Can't play much of value this turn. Alright, well, he's got a 2-drop or another 1-drop. Alright, that's fine. That leads me to not want to just cast the Anafenza. And next turn, what we can do is Inquisition and see if we want to get back the Inquisition with the Eternal Witness. Oh, what have you got? 3-drop? Nope, 4-drop. Master of the Wild Hunt. Well, that's a problematic card. Well, do you want to trade your wolf for my crappy little guy? Maybe. Next turn, do we just beat the living snot out of him? Yeah, probably. Alright, well, he's very close to having Primeval Titan or Primeval Bounty. I think they're both 6-drops. Which is rough. Probably got to life him fast here, guys. Inquisition is not going to be a good one to get back. Hoping for a kill spell for the Master. Force him to Evolutionary Leap. And if we draw one, we'll probably do it on his upkeep so that he has to leap at the expense of casting one of his cards. Well, you can master me here. Or you can defer your decision on it. Or you can throw your treetop in front of me. I'm fine with that too. I do have this witness to get stuff back if I want to. Probably sack the fetch next turn. I'm glad I played out the Stirring Wildwood, though. That's going to be a good one to attack with next turn, just to kind of force a decision in this game. Well, there's an answer. Oh, go ahead, draw a creature card. You could also sack your wolf, but I'm going to get through a boatload of damage. Okay. You got to kill the elf. Fine with that. Elf is dead. Yep. Yep. And what did he get? A Cam Colossus. Okay. Well, if he wants to kill my Chandra next turn, which I don't think he has the ability to do. Okay. He kind of has to, but he doesn't want to, because, I mean, here's the deal. Like, if he attacks into it with Treetop Village, that's probably just game. Cam Colossus, yep. Protection from black. So that eats my Anafenza pretty easily. See if we can hit a lightning bolt. No, we cannot. However, see what he does here. If he takes the 5, I mean, obviously we just bolt his face and kill him, win the game. He's got to block both. Yep, blocks there, wins that combat. Has to block that one. Yep, you got it. And cycle itself off. Down on mana, though. Yep. What do you find? Pelucranos? Okay, cool. Well, for your sake, you better hope you find a land as well. And play this out. Nope. If you don't find a land, he's got to block with his Cam Colossus, which is just wretched because I've got a Chandra. Okay, well, he's got a blocker at least. Are you going to kill one of my Planeswalkers? Which one will it be? Yeah, the Ajani. Makes sense. Yep, do 5. Johnny's going to keep him off mana. Let's inform our decision first. Okay, we hit a land. Do I get something I can cast this turn? I think I do. I think I just overload him. Got to block here. Yep. Even though, I mean, alright, so black, white, green. And we'll get in there with our silly thing. Treetop cannot attack in. I'll have to cast out a Pelucranos, which... Yep. Go ahead. Noble Hierarch finds Anissa, which is not something I think you really want to cast into this board state. Cam Colossus still has pro-black, which is fine. Could attempt to attack here. No, he can't do that, because I just won't block, and then I'll attack in for lethal with my Stirring Wildwood and all this other nonsense I've got. Okay, Nissa comes out. Do you have a 2-drop as well in hand? That'd be fine. Okay, finds a forest. Plays a forest. Yeah, I don't think he can attack here. Oh, let's fire it up. Good game. Good game, I think. Could have just blown up his Cam Colossus too, but... Okay. Good games, man. Good games. And I think we're going to call it there, guys. Definitely had fun playing you, ML. Always a pleasure. And we'll go ahead and cut the video off there, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is 100 Card Singleton. Very fun format. If it's a format you care to check out or play competitively, go on to gatherling.com and check it out there. You can register for an event that is played every Saturday between, not a lot of players, probably about 10 to 15 tops, but very fun. And you check it out there, and it's every Saturday, I believe, 15:30 or 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. So enjoy, and take care.